that's love. That's how they know love. They express love.
Right.
And I can't reject that. Right. And you take the moments and you cherish the moments because you don't know, when the moment is gonna be gone. Years later, I picked that boy up and I remember him telling me, he said, Pastor Chris.
You all right? Take your time. Oh my God.
I remember that when he told me, he said, Pastor Chris, you got a special place in my heart. And to be so young and to say that hit me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That hit me.
Hi, my name is Jabez Spann, and I'm with Missing Our Voices. Today we have a very heart-touching story. It hits home very close. This is going to be Jabez Spann's mentor, youth pastor, and leader. And he's going to give us an insight on some of the things that he does in the community, but how this affected him and what he's using to push forward from this grief, this turmoil that he's endured also. So I would like to welcome tonight Mr. Christopher Tunstall. How you doing, Christopher?
Hey, sis, I'm doing pretty good. Doing good. Thank you for inviting me.
Always. We need to have these different perspectives because that's what makes it where other people know that it's real. And that is something that more than just our family is dealing with. And we wanted to show tonight, we want to show that this is not just a family situation. This is a community situation and it's a ripple effect and it doesn't just affect our family. So we're going to start because I want people to know who you are. So I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and tell us a little bit of your backstory and how you got into ministry. Okay.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Yeah. So hello, everyone. My name is Chris Tunstall. I am a local mentor throughout the Tampa Bay area. I'm 36 years old. I started mentoring, volunteering, working in church in the community through different organizations when I was in high school. As a kid myself, my family is involved with the community, vast aspects, church, the nonprofit sector, etc. So myself, starting in high school, I started working with the Big Brothers, Big Sisters program my sophomore and junior year here in Sarasota County. From there, volunteering in the church. My grandparents are our pastors in the local area. And just being involved, being the PK, growing up, it's like everybody in the house, you don't have a choice but to go to church. So, going to church and to be active myself, just coming up with different creative ways to stay engaged with the quote unquote church. So that I can have a foundation. And as I grew, I made friends, had peers, my age. We connected, we created different things together, and it grew from there. By the time I hit 18, 19 years old, it was a group of young adults at our church, and we were known as Living Hope. We started out as Living Hope Church of Deliverance. Then we transitioned to Living Hope Worship Center. The group of teens and young adults, we had our own dance group. We traveled, we did mime, skits, liturgics. And then outside of church, of course, we hung out with each other. We played ball, basketball, football, go to the movies. We learned how to pray fast, staying nights at the church, the pillow fights, just different stuff, so learning about our faith as teenagers and young adults, we did it together.
Let me ask you a question. So,
yes.
I mean, you could have went into anything in pastoring. It was something particular because you have a picture behind you. Are these some of your boys?
Yep. Yeah. So I want to say your left, this is Jaquan. Then you have Jabez. Then that's me. That's the younger me. You got Raheem, which is right behind me. That's right. Romeo, which is Jabez's brother. And then you have DeAndre.
So, like I was saying, you could have went into anything. What stood out with you working with the young youth? Because, they could be troubling, very hard to work with, especially in our communities. It could be a difficult task. It takes a great spirit in order to be able to embody that. What made you realize that at one point, like, this is something I think I want to do, or I need to do?
Well, initially, I didn't set out with the mindset of wanting to be a youth pastor.
Okay.
I think it was my ability to build relationship, have fun, and then the kids, looking up to me, or just want to be around me, and me being creative to keep them engaged, how we were engaged coming up in the church. And out of my peers, it's like we were all leaders, and even to this day, we're leading in some aspect in the community. But out of my peers, it's like I was one of the ones that were more consistent. Of course, being, the pastor grandson, or the mom being the PK, I guess I fell into that role. And I'm gonna be honest with you, starting out, I was 18, 19 years old, starting out, when we just had our group. And then by the time the group behind me came, I want to say I was like maybe 21, and then like 2021, somewhere around that era. I was still, I was in the church, but I still was,
Your way.
growing as an adult. I still had my stuff that I was doing too. I might go to a party here and there, hang out with my friends. I was still growing as as a young adult, right? But what I enjoyed was just having relationships with these kids, man. Being there to pick them up. We go out by the water, just letting them have fun. They jump out the car. I remember having all 8, 9 of them in the car, and I had a Kia Soul. The police pulled me over. I probably got a ticket for all of them. But just seeing them have fun. And then hearing, I gained this nickname, from them, right? You understand? They started calling me PC. People in the community, when they say, "Hey, PC," people like, what? Like the game or the computer? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, that's what my kids call me. It's Pastor Chris, right? And I fell into the role of a youth pastor, just me being me. You know what I'm saying? Showing love with them, having fun with them, taking them out. You know what I'm saying? And
they didn't just become kids that are under you; they become almost like your family.
We were all, man. That was one thing about Living Hope. We were all family. We had family groups there, and we all may not have been blood, but we were all each other's second family. And with these boys, some of them, I took them like my little brother, my little cousins. I found out that some of them were actually my cousins. Whether it be through marriage, like Raheem, that's my little cousin.
Right.
Some of them I grew so close with. It's like, man, them my kids, man, them my jits, man. Like, you ever seen those movies where you have a young, I'll say like a young OG or you got a young adult, like a young male, and he take on a little kid under his wing, right? And that's like his little homie.
Yes.
Right. That's how I felt about them. Like, these my little homie. I didn't feel like I was their pastor or their youth pastor. In my heart and in my mind, I'm like, man, these my little homies, man. I got to look out for them. Make sure they straight. Make sure they okay. You get what I'm saying? And when they can't, you know what I'm saying? Safe haven. When they got frustration and stuff, where at home or with each other, you know what I'm saying? Hey, PC, you know what I'm saying? You can take us to the church tonight, or APC. You know what I'm saying? We can go, you say you can take us to play basketball or whatever. I was like, yeah, man. And whatever I had to do, I would always put myself on the back burner. And I think everybody knew that too. Because I stayed with some Red Bulls. I made sure I had a case of Red Bull.
Okay. You were also guiding them in a good way, away from what was going around them in the streets and stuff like that. So
that was the goal. We're going to
start with we're gonna start with some questions with Jabez.
Yeah,
You ready
yeah,
for that?
yeah, yeah. If I get red-eyed, I'm gonna let. I know we had our conversation. If I get
Okay.
red-eyed, I'm gonna do the best. I'll push through. I'll just
What
give
I
me a
want what
moment.
I want you what I want you to kind of do is tell everybody when you think about Jabez, just about your interaction and your relationship, what comes to mind? What do you remember?
Man, that boy had so much love in him that was unexplainable, right? He taught to this day. When at the age that I met him, he taught me that, bro, like from the ages 8, 9, 10 years old, like them boys express love how they know. They haven't transitioned into that macho man yet. So they're still full of the hug,
Right.
right? And the I love you. And me, I was like, okay, why this boy always running up to me? Why he grabbing me? Why he hug? Come on, hey, fist that, you know? But it was one day that boy he ran out the house. I just pulled up. I think he saw my car. The boy ran out the house, came out the gate, and just grabbed me. Right. I was like, man. And that day I remember, I said, that's the day I was like, hey, fist bump. Right. That's love. That's how they know love. They express love. And
Right.
I can't reject that. Right.
Right.
And you take the moments and you cherish the moments because you don't know, when the moment is gonna be gone. Years later, I picked that boy up and I remember him telling me, he said, Pastor Chris.
You all right? Take your time. Oh my God.
I remember that boy told me, he said, Pastor Chris, you got a special place in my heart. And to be so young and to say that hit me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That hit me.
Yeah, I don't think people realize, to come back to you, it has to be. I keep looking at this picture in the back of you. There's not one face in the back of you that's not happy. You know what I'm saying? You can't get those smiles and that joy from a person that's not special or unique. Because everybody cannot take on all those different personalities at such a young age. You took that and you strided with it. So I mean, that's why I really wanted to be able to show people the side of you that most people, they get to see Pastor Chris, they get to see the winning circle, but I got to see this very raw young man that was very young when most grown-ups probably wouldn't have took them kids, and you took them on without it was
I
nothing to
mean,
you.
man, listen, most parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, they can take so much, right?
Yeah.
Especially with these boys. These boys was raw and unfiltered, high energy. You understand? And
Right.
when they got together, they had their arguments. They had their fights. They had their moments of, oh, Pastor Chris, he your favorite. He your favorite. Or why you always spend the time with him and not us? Like, I've been through all that with them. And when they together, I just learned, man, they're boys.
Right.
They're learning how to become men. And they got it. Just because I was an adult or a young adult, I had my issues, but they got issues too. They had
Right.
stuff going on at home too. And my goal was just for them to be a safe place for them. Right. And that's why I say, like, I fell into the role of youth pastor. It wasn't my goal to be a youth pastor. It wasn't reason being, it's like I'm still I know I'm out here sinning. Real talk. I know I ain't perfect. But you know what I'm saying? But we grow up, it's like, hey, you gotta put this mask on, you gotta put this on, you know what I'm saying, and present to the communities like, hey, but no, like now, when I look back on each one of them boys that's behind me right now, what hurts me is the potential what Jabez is gone, right? And one of our other kids. Out of all this, I feel like when you look at the movie and it's like you got a group of best friends that stayed together from elementary to college, right? And at the end of the movie, it shows like this person, you know, this person died at this age, or this person, and this
somewhat like Boys in the Hood, how when you go
right,
through it, yeah, I know what
right.
you mean. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and a lot of people, what it is it's common. It's common in our neighborhoods, the urban communities. It's common to look back and see that you've lost quite a bit of friends just due to what happens around us. You know what I'm saying? And that's in you never think though that some things will happen that will be life changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So tell me when you first heard that Jabez was missing, first of all, did you feel like it was real? Because I didn't feel like
No,
it was real.
no, it didn't set in. I didn't know how to take it. I didn't know how to process it. You know what I'm saying? I think I was 20, somewhere between 24 and 26. I can't remember. But if it's like you can't fathom, like it's like, nah, you hear it, but then you still expect later on that evening, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna hear something from Jabez.
Right, right.
Right? Or you gonna hear like, but it's like so it didn't set for a while. And I tell you what, um, I'm gonna be raw. I'm gonna
I
tell you
want you
what
to.
pissed me off about the process of when, even down to the law enforcement, when they called me, right? I was at work, and I remember you telling me, "Hey, the investigators are making phone calls. They're gonna reach out to you." Right? So they called me. I'm at work, and I think you asked me. You was like, "Hey, can you make it in person, whatnot, so they could talk?" And that's one of the things I regret. I would, but I was so young. It's like I didn't know what to do. Right?
Right.
I wish I would have taken the time, like you tell, like, no, I need to leave work right now. This is important to me. I don't need to be here. Right?
Right.
That's it's somewhere I need to be, and I'm gone. But
Right.
I stayed at work and I waited for them to call me. They called me nonchalantness that
Yeah.
the lady had on the phone, the detective had on the phone when asking me the questions, angered me. The lady asked was so nonchalant. It was like, "Hello, Mister, is this Christopher Tunstall? Uh, I just have a few questions to ask you." Um, Jabez Spann reported that he allegedly saw a homicide, and most times in these cases, when kids see things, they run away. Like she was already like pushing, like, oh, he may have seen something if he didn't run away just to run away, and if he did see something, but in these cases, the kids run away and they come back.
Well,
Like,
I'm gonna jump in because I'm gonna explain something because I when I first started with the case too, I felt like there was a disattachment of the police myself. And what we have to realize is that we are emotionally attached to it. So when you're emotionally attached, you can't see certain things. Their job is to be a certain detached away from it because they have to be able to see this clear. And at the beginning, even we thought, everybody, I mean, including all of us, even though they were making phone calls, we thought he had ran away. We thought the first time I literally knew that something had went wrong with Jabez is when I went to go question one of his friends and he screamed to me, "I don't know. I have nothing to do with what happened to Jabez." When he screamed at me, I knew at that point that this is not going to end well. No matter how it goes, even if we find him somewhere, somebody don't took him, don't hurt him, don't did something to him. But the law enforcement, I think, I don't think nobody really thought that this was that Jabez was really the way things went. I don't think nobody thought that it was what it was until you get like 6 months down the road and you realize this boy still ain't. There's no phone calls. There's no pinging of the phone. When the FBI came to my house, I knew at that moment it had got real. That's when I knew it got real.
And I remember the day that it was reported he was missing. With them boys, I had a group chat with them through text message and on social media. I want to say it was Facebook. I sent them messages of like positive affirmations. I would say, hey, good morning, boys. Y'all keep your mind focused. You know what I'm saying? Stay positive. Like that was just with me and them. And I saw on with Jabez's account, you can see like who viewed. At the bottom of the message, it shows who viewed. All right. And I saw like Jabez view. It's just said that he viewed, but there was no response. This was earlier that morning. But with it not being a response, and this is why another reason why I'm hard on myself about this. Normally, if I see them look at something and they don't respond, I'd be like, hey, yo, I know y'all saw me put a message in here. Ain't nobody y'all say nothing bad. What's going on with y'all?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they'll respond, oh, my bad, PC. I was caught up, or I saw it, but I fell asleep. Right.
Right.
But when I saw they saw it, I didn't fall. I was like, you know what? They getting older. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give them this space. And you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna cool out. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Right.
But then that evening, bro, it's like, yo, he's gone. So I'm like, did he see it? Or like, am I tripping? Right? I didn't know. I don't know.
It was, the thing about it, I think a lot of people, at first I was upset with, the community. I couldn't believe that anybody, but just if you had information, why would you not say this? And it's a 14-year-old child, you know what I'm saying? No matter if he was out being a boy or being boisterous, because I'm not painting him as this perfect child at 14, but at the end of the day, he is still considered a child. You know what I'm saying? And I would have thought just the human part of most people would have been like, let me say something, because these kids were, my mom was a pillar in this community. You know what I'm saying? People knew her all over. So it not even just me. Like, y'all know, y'all go to church with this lady. She's helped a lot of kids in the community. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought, and then one day I, just sitting with myself, and I was saying, I had to ask a question to myself. If I had this information and I thought it would put me in any type of danger or my family, what would I do? And with Jabez, I had to ask a lot of hard questions to myself that normal people don't have to ask in these situations. And I had to put my feet in other people's shoes. I wanted the answers now. But I also didn't want anybody else to be harmed. I didn't want nobody else's child to be harmed. I didn't want nobody else to be, you know what I'm saying, caught up in this whirlwind of whatever it was and be harmed behind this situation. I didn't want that. I wouldn't want to live with that on my conscience. And I say this to say that I think that's probably what made it hard for you to go on the searches.
The weekend that Jabez went missing, or that week that he went missing, I pulled up at y'all house, at my artillery house. Jabez was there. His friend was there. The family was at the gate. And he come outside. And I pull up. He like, hey, PC, I need to tell you something. And he just come to me. And he grabbed my hand, shake my hand. And I go on to give him a hug. And he just stopped and looked at me. And my artillery at the gate, and she was like, boy, hurry up and tell him, you know Pastor Chris got somewhere to go. I'm like, it's good, Marty, it's good. You know what I'm saying? I know he wanted to tell me something, but if he wanted to tell me, he gonna tell me. And he just stood there. And he ain't say nothing. So it's, all right, just hit me up. And I got in the car and I pulled off. Days after that, the boy go missing. So I take on it. It's like, bro, I could have been that safe haven. He was like, yo, PC, I saw this dude, you know what I'm saying, get murked down the street. You know what I'm saying? I thought that would have been my responsibility to be like, yo, no, this is what we're gonna do. This is how you handle this. We going to law enforcement. We're gonna make sure that it's documented and make sure that you're okay. You know what I'm saying? So what happened could have been avoided. So I carry that. You know what I'm saying?
Chris, I think you need to realize too, as a man of God, and the way that things happen was designed to happen in the order that they were about to happen. It could have been more people involved and more people hurt in this situation. And he called me also. He called me on the phone that Saturday and was just, it was something wrong. It was something, you know how you look back in hindsight and you be like, something ain't right. And God put a design on to this situation to make it where it didn't touch anybody else. It was a day that Jabez was supposed to be born, and it was a day that he was supposed to die. Now, if we will ever get justice, that's only known to God. He has to give that to us. You know what I'm saying? But I remember this one lady came and she was saying, he probably would have still been here if you would have been a better mother. Well, the children told me that their mother said it. I'm out there in the park looking for Jabez, and the kids came and told me that their mama said if I would have been a better mother, my child wouldn't have been dead. And I carried that with me for a long time. I carried that with me. And then one day, my sister was crying. She was like, we just would have been. And I told her, I said, I'm not carrying that no more. But it wouldn't have mattered what you would have done. If those people would have wanted Jabez, it still would have ended up where they would have had Jabez. It ain't nothing we could have did about that. It wasn't our decision for him to leave us. You know what I'm saying? And if any of us could have did anything, we would have did it. But I don't. I had to learn. I can't tote around the accountability of his murder that don't belong to me. His death does not belong to me. It belongs to the people that decided to take his life. Is there something that we all wish we could have did? Yes. I'm almost for certain down to your grandmother, to my father. I mean, to everybody that was around us. But if it could have been any way that Jabez was supposed to be able to tell us what happened, it would have been there. It would have been there. That's why I tell you this as comforting words, because I know that you carry it with you. That's why I wanted you on this podcast, because I don't think people knew how close you were to all these young men. And not even just you had to carry the burden of what happened to him. I know you had to pick up the pieces of the boys that were left that were dealing with the pain. You understand what I'm saying? And people don't realize that you had to go through that. You know what I'm saying? And that's a tough, especially to be so young. Not even to be 30. You lost one of your kids to a kidnapping and murdering. The rest of the kids kind of went.
They own way. Real talk. They went their own way. Yes.
I don't even know if it's just they went their own way. I think, just like you said, nobody really knew how to process what was happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how somebody tell you, look both ways before crossing the road. You do that because it could be cars coming. Nobody don't ever tell you what's the protocol if somebody is kidnapped. What's the procedure that you take if somebody's murdered right up under you? You don't have, if there's no book for that. So everybody has to do this certain processing on their own, and then try to find other people that they can help get through the process in time. And sometimes them people ain't doing well themselves. I know you've played things over and over again on what you could have did, but I just want people to know you couldn't have been no better to Jabez than if you had if he was giving birth to you on as a son. Does that make sense? You couldn't have been no better. And I'm putting this out because this podcast, I hope it goes worldwide at one point. I'm putting that out there to let people know that picture behind you, that's not fake. That is not fake. I was there to see that love in those moments. And that's why I kind of wanted you to come on, because I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, people don't realize like Jabez, I know everybody was like, oh, the family, but it's other people that's attached to us that's just as strong in Jabez's life as we are. And you're one of them. And I want to thank you for always being there for him.
Yes, ma'am. Always. You're welcome. I enjoyed it. Them were my boys. Them were my boys. Just like I expressed in the beginning, like I saw myself as like the young OG that got his little homies. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Those my little homies. You know? And I would love, now that they're older, the ones that's around, man, I would love to have them, get them together. Love for them to see them together, man. Do something.
I know you performed at Jabez's funeral and everything like that. Was that a hard task to pull off? Having to perform at his funeral, because I don't know if that was something you struggled with.
Initially it was still unreal. Real talk. It was still unreal. So, you know how death hits people differently. So you can be in the moment and moving and processing stuff. Like don't nothing hit yet. Like you still moving, you still strong, right? You normal. And then, but a couple of months later or a few weeks later, boom, it hit.
Right.
That was me.
Mm-hmm.
So getting a request is like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I feel honored. Like this is one of my kids, you know what I'm saying? I'm serving the family. I'm still able to serve the family. I'm still able to show, hey, this PC, man, I still got love for you. And I remember coming in the back, it's moments when I ain't gonna say damn, I'm saying ministering and serving, right? It's moments when I'm dancing and ministering, you understand, where I feel when it hit me, you know, when the spirit hit me or when the emotion of it hit me. And when it hits me, I hit my knees. You know what I'm saying? I remember walking to the back of the church and I hit my knees. That was one of my moments. You know what I'm saying? That was me. That wasn't no, attention to everybody. Oh man, he going through it, or oh man, no, that was my moment between me and God at that time.
Right.
That was me like empty and out between me and God. I ain't care about nobody else in that building at that time. That was between me and God at that time.
Right.
You know, so initially I was like, I'm serving. I'm on autopilot. That ministry, you understand? You still got to
do what you got to do. Yeah. Yep. So after everything settled down, the dust settled down, you started Winter Circle, right? Is Winter Circle kind of based off anything from Jabez, or is this just something that you came up with initially? Does it have any impact on it? That's what I'm asking you. Did Jabez impact any of the things that you're doing going forward with mentoring other kids and how you adjust to them? And do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Jabez has a lot to do with how I love and serve my kids. Okay. Even the young adults. Like I told you at the beginning, it's like my young boys, even if they 16, 17, you get what I'm saying? Before I just used to be, hey, dap up. It's like, no, man, hey, I love you. I love you. If you ain't got no other man telling you, bro, that your daddy ain't there telling you he love you, hey, PC, I love you. You get what I'm saying? My little boys, if they want to lean on me, hey, this safe. If I'm a safe haven, safe place, I ain't trying to push them away. I can't push them away. Being open, a safe place, and allowing them to express who they are and showing love. Me being able to receive how they love and also provide it back. All right. I also Jabez is that experience has also taught me to be real and authentic with my kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to put up a face, you know what I'm saying, of, oh, this is Pastor Chris. This we following the scriptures. Like, nah, no, you know what? Excuse my language. The nigga, let me be real with you real quick. This is XYZ. This what's going on. You're saying, yeah, we believe in God, we got faith, but you know what I'm saying? You 17, you 16, you 18. You know what I'm saying? Here's reality for you right now.
Right.
So
right.
I've learned to be real with them instead of just religious.
If there was one thing, if Jabez was in front of you right now, if there was anything that you had to say to him, what would be your final words that you would give to him, that you would want to say to him if he was in front of you?
I love you. I love you.
For some reason, I think he'll say it back. I really do. All right. So thank you, Mr. Chris Tunstall, for coming on. We appreciate you. Can you again tell us what you're working on as your company and what you do before we leave?
Yes. So I'm working on the development of the Winner Circle, TWC, which is a mentoring program for young men. We're going to be expanding to be co-ed, ages 8 to 26. And our focus is our goal setting, the base life skills, career development. And we do that by developing relationships, finding out what hardships our mentees are experiencing, what their goals are, and we walk with them through the process of achieving those goals. All right. So transitioning them from middle school to high school, from high school to college, while in college into their career. The goal, our purpose statement is to educate, motivate, and inspire youth and young adults that are in hardship to overcome their issues and pursue their purpose in life. We want everybody to be able to identify who they are and pursue the reality of who they are and achieve success.
So now you've heard the perspective of Chris Tunstall. He's a youth pastor, a mentor, a big brother to Jabez Spann. And he told his story tonight of his healing process and his journey. I want to thank you guys. My name is Tawana Spann for coming and spending time with us on Missing Our Voices. May we all heal together.